And just to add, because my research as a PhD, I did research on identity. I've written about, tribal enrollment laws and how messy they are and how they can really impact mental health. And that's kind of one of the main goals of my research that I try and do, along with the other stuff I do. But that's what I really wanted to do a PhD on. I'm not going to talk about pretendians that much because I don't care. I think it's a very toxic situation. I think it's very mean quickly, and I think it divides us more than really anything else we do. But to just add on this, and I'm not going to say who it is. I mean, you can figure it out if you just search. But there is a very prominent writer that claimed to be from my pueblo and used that to basically boost a lot of their book sales. But when they were called out by the pueblo and saying they don't have a history of them being here, and also they're not involved with the community, which is very important to being pueblo, they stopped referencing themselves as indigenous, as Okiawinge. But if you go on indigenous, if you go on Book Talk today, if you go on Native Talk today, you'll still see an endless amount of people for every Native American Heritage Month or for diversifying your authors. You'll see this author and their books there. And it's really funny because none of their books really talk about Pueblo traditions and stuff, but they do use and steal ideas from other cultures, whether it's, Mayan, Aztec, Navajo, which is highly contentious. And so it's just, like, the Pretendian Hunters didn't help with that, and me, if I were to call them out, it's like, that wouldn't help. Also, it's like, I don't know, maybe they do have a history. I know a lot about the history of our enrollment law processes and how that's a little bit finicky. So, it's like, I'm not going to sit here and do what the United States government has done for centuries, which is try to find out when we stop, existing as indigenous peoples and just and lose that. I'm not gonna do that. But it's like the other thing is like the idea of like pretending hunters. If they were useful, they would be able to stop careers, and they can't. So what is the point of talking about it? We have ways to validate things, and if we can't do that, then we just can't do that.